hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Sis. Welcome. Hey, Sierra.
Hey, hey, hey. How
How
are
are
you?
you? How are you today?
I'm good today. I'm doing real good. How are you?
Good, good. Did you have a productive week of meal prepping?
I did. It was successful. Wow.
Successful.
It was successful
Okay.
up until Friday.
What
I
happened
had
Friday?
training. And well, what I will say, I accidentally left one of my meals out overnight. And so then I couldn't eat it the next day. And so then when it came to Friday, I was a meal short. So I ate McDonald's breakfast. So, but I did come home and cook
Listen.
Friday for dinner. So I feel like it
Okay, I think you made it balanced. That works. 4 out of 5 days is not bad. So
was.
you made a goal. You stuck to it. So this week, hopefully, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, we'll see about
Yeah,
that.
maybe. Yeah. Well, at least you tried it, right?
I want to continue. I will continue.
Okay. Well, let's see. So, with that being said, we're gonna get into our first topic, excuse me, our first segment of the week. As y'all know, that's ranting and raving. We gotta get it off our chest, one way or the other. So, Sierra, are you ranting or are you raving?
I am going to rant a little bit today
Oh,
because earlier today I had an experience. I had to go to the store, right?
okay.
I had just a small little experience. Um, I went to the store. I went to the store to just get some things to cook for dinner. And while the cashier, she was getting ready to leave, I think she had like 3 more minutes left of her shift. So she closed, the cashier laying down. She said she had to go put some stuff back, whatever. And her manager was like, where are you going? You still have a lot more time left on the clock. And she was like, well, I have 3 more minutes and I was gonna go, put this stuff back and then, time's up. What you talking about?
Okay.
And so she was like, here, give it to me. I'll go put it back. You take more customers. And she was like, okay. And I was like, that was very rude. Like, and this is not the first time that I've actually had this encounter a couple weeks ago at Family Dollar, the same thing. The manager was very rude to the worker in front of customers. I'm like, first of all, you're not supposed to be rude talking to people like that anyway. And then second of all, as the manager, you're talking to them in front of people like that in front of people. That is so degrading. And then because they're in the position that they're in, they don't really feel comfortable stepping up for themselves because you are their manager. You're not my manager, and I'm going to say something
Okay.
because that's rude. And so I don't know if people, some people may just note it and keep walking, but I'm just not that kind of person. Like I just have to say something and speak up for other people when I know, you ain't trying to lose your job. I got you this time. That's rude, and you don't need to speak to her like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I hate when people do that. So I'm just ranting about that.
I mean, listen, not everybody has a cold heart. So thankfully, there are some people like you in the world who stick up for the little guy, and that is disgusting. I've had, managers don't be trying to do no work.
Mm-mm.
Okay, they really don't be trying to do no work. They don't want to interact with the customers. They'll do the little mindless tasks, but it's like you getting paid more, but you want me
Right.
to have to deal with the BS, but you getting paid to deal with the BS. So like, I don't understand. I should be going to put the boxes in the bag. Like,
Right. You should
make it
be on,
make
on the
sense.
front line, you know?
You hold it down. Be the heartbeat.
Pretty
Well,
freezing.
thank you for sticking up for the small guy. I'm sure they'll appreciate you. I am going to rave this week. I wanted to rant, but I'm gonna rave about it instead because I'm grateful that we're back for season 3, and I had an experience also earlier today, just in learning how to go about editing, these videos and files and storage and making sure it's the right format and blah 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 blah. And
Hmm.
I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive about so I try to make sure that I put the best foot forward, and I'm open to criticism. So y'all, go ahead and critique me. Be nice, be fair, be honest, but give me some feedback or some advice on how to make it better. I should
Yeah.
say, you know, because we want to give you a fine product, but also keep your opinions to yourself.
Right. We want to grow. And if we can do that together, that's great. But if you're going to be negative, please just keep it moving and let us grow in a peaceful way. Because we would hate to have to cut you off.
Right? Okay.
Just go if you don't want to be here.
I know that, that's definitely gonna have to be something I have to work on. It's just being a little more open to criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I know that I'm going to have to work on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something I mean, that's just a universal thing because you, as yourself, I feel like we criticize ourselves and we take that, but when somebody else does it, we're like, oh, don't
Okay.
be like that.
Well, I think if we can learn anything, it will be from our next topic, our next topic of conversation, our timeline topic. And Sierra, I'll let you tell people a little bit more about what's going on, and then we'll get into it.
Okay. So I'm scrolling on my timeline and I see a documentary is coming out about where has Wendy Williams been? Okay, because I'm sure a lot of people have been wondering, Wendy Williams. So I guess she has this, like I said, documentary coming out where she explains the kind of like the headline was, I have no money. And she went to see a neurologist from people saying that she was crazy and things like this. Her son is on there describing his experience. She has family members on there. And so I don't know, do we want to take a listen to it real quick to
So
see?
it's a 3 minute long trailer. So I'm only gonna play like the first minute because you pretty much will get the gist of like what's going on. And then if you want to see more, I'll leave the notes. I'll leave the link, excuse me, in the notes, and then you guys can check it out from there. Okay. So
all I wanted was to be famous.
A Lifetime 2-night documentary event.
Showtime.
Executive produced by Wendy Williams.
The boss is walking, everybody.
Nobody can do it like Wendy. No one. People love Wendy.
You are a star.
She was in her living room every single day for 12 years.
Yep, I guess that'll do.
And that's what people responded to, her authenticity. And then at the peak of her career, she was gone.
Are we ready?
Yeah, waiting on you.
All right, and away we go.
Love you, Wendy.
All I know is how to be famous. I really want to be back on television.
You're gonna be back on TV. That's easy.
My mom has done a great job making it seem like everything is okay always.
Wendy, make sure you look here. 1, 2, 3.
But in reality, there's something wrong going on.
Did you see a neurologist to find out if I'm crazy?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to sit down again.
She was put in front of a judge and given a guardian. That was when they took her away from us.
that's the gist. Mm-hmm. So that was a lot.
Yes.
My first question is, do you love or do you hate Wendy?
I personally am not a Wendy fan.
Really?
Yeah, she just, I get having a job to do. But there's a certain line I feel like you're probably not supposed to cross when talking about people, and Wendy soared over that line. I just felt like I don't know, she just was very nasty spirited to me. Like it wasn't genuine. Even when people would come on the show and the way that she interviewed them was very like, I don't know, just very judgmental.
You watched the Wendy Williams show?
I did.
Okay.
Yep. Very, I don't know, just judgmental. She just talked about a lot of people. And like I said, I get having a talk show. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to discuss hot topics. But the way that she discussed them was like, Wendy, these are people. These are humans.
Yeah. I love Wendy.
Really? That's so funny.
And maybe that's just because she's a cancer sister with me, but I love her. I understand everything, and I don't disagree with anything that you said. I don't disagree with anything that you said, and it doesn't make those things right or okay. I love her because I love people, one, who are authentic, who are genuinely 100% through and through themselves, right? And I feel like that's Wendy. In all of her cuckoo crazy and all of her emotion and all of her, tell it like it is. Um, that's who she is. Now, granted, we didn't really get the full tea on like her business with her and her man until like we kind of had to and it was exposed. But I mean, what would you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you put your business on Front Street or would you talk about other people's? I mean, what do you expect the girl to do?
I don't know how I would feel comfortable talking about other people's that much in depth, knowing that once we wrap, I'm going home to some bull.
To deal with the same
And
exact
I'm
thing.
about
Well,
to
I mean, yeah, that's probably a coping mechanism, you know. Definitely.
like, so you gonna talk about these people because it could be something as simple as she used to like Tab. How you gonna come for Umpty Tab for retiring her husband, who was a police officer for years, and you want to degrade talking about this marriage is not gonna work. But knowing what you're dealing, are you there?
Do you think she believed the things that she said?
I think she wanted to.
Okay.
I think she knew that she was going through that. It's projecting. Obviously, hurt people hurt people. So she knows that she's going home to that. So somebody gotta feel how I'm feeling a little bit too.
Exactly.
It ain't gonna be just
yes.
me. And so I'm just like, as a human, I understand it, but it's like
you got some responsibility to like be better.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any sympathy for her and what she's going through?
Like I said, I do because I'm a human being and I know that, something, like she said, this could be you. Something could always be you. I don't always make the best decisions. I'm not always the nicest person. Something, like could happen to me, but at the same time, you cannot continuously pour out negativity and meanness. And I just feel like if there was a balance, I just feel like there was no balance of negativity and also
Really?
or maybe I just didn't see the positive stuff that she did. So maybe that's just me. I only saw negative, and I just feel like you cannot just screw negativity into this world and think you're gonna have positivity back at you. That's just not gonna work. And like she would have had a field day on Hot Topics if this was somebody else. She would have tore them down with no sympathy. But obviously, you're not supposed to do as the world does. So I do have sympathy for her as a human, but at the same time, I'm like,
I think, I hear you. And that's the thing. That's why she became so iconic, right? Because she's polarizing, right? And that's why my question was, do you love her or you hate her? Because there's no real in between. And I think I love her. I have a respect for her because being a woman in the industry that she's in, radio, media, personality, TV, an industry that, I kind of aspire to be in, understand that you have to forge your own way. And then there's a soft spot in my heart when I hear her as a woman with insecurities and as a woman who's been taken advantage of, and that same woman with those same insecurities was then put in a position where beauty and the way you look and the exact opposite of what you may have been insecure about is now what's thriving you and feeding you, and that how that can just kind of be a mind fuck, at some point. And so there's just some sympathy there, and I get it. Some of it is self-imposed, you know what I mean? If don't start none, won't be none kind of situation. But when I think about her story and her demise, it wasn't her talking about other people that ended her career. It was her soft heart as a woman that ended her career, and that or that started the end of her demise, you know, with her dealings with Kevin, his relationships with her production, and his what's demeanor on set. And you know, we can argue should he allowed some of this, but you know, there's just that whole back and forth of who's more at fault for that, you know. So that is kind of where the demise of Wendy Williams really kind of kicked off, because this man decided to be foul and stank and go have another baby and blew up the spot. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like, well, damn, Gucci, like that's, you know, but then you say that's karma because she exposed all these other people. But did she expose them, or I mean, was they just out here having babies on their wives? You know what I'm saying? Somebody was gonna talk about it.
Absolutely. I get it. I definitely get it. But somebody gonna talk about her now that it's her turn.
But that's why she got a documentary. You know what I mean? And the thing about it too is, you know, she did a documentary exposing.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I don't think she ever went about it as if it weren't happening.
Yeah.
And
until it was once it was exposed, then she was like, okay. But prior, because they had issues prior to Kevin that big, and you still, you know, putting on, you know, as people.
And so, do you think that is so much hiding what's happening, or you know, trying to protect your marriage?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're not gonna come to for hey y'all, because I can't stand when people do that. They come, hey, my man did this, he blacked my eye, I hate him. Then the next day, we date night, and you want us to be. So I don't like, you don't have to run to the internet with your problems, but at the same time, don't be on here tearing people down as if you are like, how consciously, how can you do that? That's when it comes to morals, how can you come up here and be dogging these people out as if you don't have to go home to whatever you're dealing with? That's mind-blowing to me. But
I mean, from her documentary though, it seemed as though she knew, right? But you know how they have respectful cheating?
Oh yeah.
I feel like she felt it was that. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, she was still all of these things, and therefore could justify herself with, you know what I'm saying, talking about other people. But then once that man mess around and have a baby, now you're exposed, and like you said, like we got.
But you got to think, she's been a functioning addict this whole time.
That's true too.
She said that she started snorting back when she was trying to come up in the game so that she could stay up and be, you know, doing these radios long hours.
Right. But I thought she say she stopped once she had her baby, her son?
Oh, maybe. So then
she said she stopped once she had her son.
Relapsed after this Kevin situation.
But yes, also yes, the drug usage timeline is a little
question, you know,
up and down.
Not because heartbreak can make you do some crazy things.
Okay.
And that's one thing I feel for celebrities, because it is, everything they do is so highlighted. And if everything we did was highlighted like that, we would not. But that's where I get, we would not be judging people because you would like. But that's
true. And then, like they said, she has all these yes people.
Yeah.
Around her, so
they don't want to lose their job. They don't want
anything she wants, anything she needs or feels like she wants to use to cope with or whatever. It's no problem to really get it. So that makes it all the much more easier. You know what I mean? So
at the end of the day, I really do wish her the best. I really do pray that she gets better. I mean, I would love to see her back on, you know, TV doing what she does. Hopefully she could be a little nicer after this. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Doubt it. But hey, I would love for her to be better than, because I don't like to see people like, she looks crazy. She looks, I'm sorry, but she looks like something is truly going on past drugs.
No, like rotting from
in the guardianship. I'm confused on where that came about. So how do you go from being on television to now on the guard? Like, I just feel like I'm gonna watch the documentary because I need to know how this transpired. I need a little
I
bit
mean,
more.
somebody took it to court within her camp, to petition the judge to say she needs to be under guardianship.
But that
And
comes with some mental diagnosis.
that's what I'm saying. Based on whatever, they must have had enough evidence for a court to decide.
How long was that going on? Was that just a
But that's hard. It's hard because it's not beyond reasonable to say that when you're in a camp, things can be coerced and created environments, right, to support, oh, she needs a guardianship. I'm feeding her alcohol. She gets a little, oh, you want to do a little this, you want to do it. I'm insinuating, I'm encouraging these bad behaviors. I'm enabling, right? You're in these enabling environments that then makes it so easy, especially if it's a plot, like somebody, I don't know, to get you in that. It's not hard to do when you're already in a very susceptible place. And then to the public eye, well, she was drinking, well, she was this, and she did take the pills, and she did say that, and she was right. But there's also people around her that are, making, we don't see that. Or on the other hand, she really is mentally unwell. People camp aside with her family, without her family, to where she needs to go. So it's hard to be like, you want to believe the best, but we don't know. So, and then it's kind of like, why is there a documentary going on when she's going through all of these things?
I said,
and these cameras are in her face and she's looking crazy. Who's getting paid for this?
Why does she want to do this? Why does she want to do this in the height of? You're not better, sis. This is not.
I understand why she wanted to do it. She wants to be famous.
She says it 50,000 times in the trailer. I want to be famous. I want to be famous. I want to be famous.
And this is kind of a Wendy thing. And I watched her thing the other day, and she, even when she was back on the radio, she was very open and sharing about going through her miscarriages and stuff. So it's not the first time, that she's let us in a way. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm praying that she's getting better, is better. I pray hopefully that this was filmed like last year and now she's, tight and right. I don't know. But well wishes to you, sis. Yeah. Okay, well wishes.
Mm-hmm. No, literally, well wishes. I do pray that she gets better and that her family is truly around her and helping her, and not just keeping her here. Like, no, she needs to get better. She doesn't need to just be, what she is now, because that ain't better.
Okay. So last but not least, we're going to move on to our timeline topic of the week. Okay. And this week we're going to talk about triggers. Okay. So, triggers, it feels like a little bit of a buzzword, in these past few years. I'm triggered, don't trigger me. Don't, your partner's not responsible for your triggers, and other people aren't responsible for your triggers, and know your triggers, and all that, right?
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning, right? I should have started with saying that. So I want to just hear, like, okay, when you hear triggers, like, first thoughts go immediately.
Oh, like when I first hear trigger, I think of I just think of the feeling that I feel when I'm triggered. I think of the heart beating fast, the stomach plummeting, the back against the wall, fight, because it's not in fight or flight. I'm fight. I'm not flight. I'm not freeze. So that's when I think of trigger. That's what I think of. I think of, okay, I'm on guard now. Like, is that what you? Like?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what I mean. But also like subtle triggers too, like things that just kind of put you in a bad mood. Like all of a sudden, I'm just irritated now. Like now I'm just irritated, right? Now I don't even want to do it anymore.
Okay.
I don't want to go. No. Have fun, right? And okay, so my first question was gonna be, how do you know, right? But you just kind of talked about it, like there's a physical reaction usually of some sort, and you may not even realize it unless you are intentionally aware around, okay, my heart's beating, I'm having anxiety, my face is tense, or I'm driving, I'm clenching the steering wheel, or whatever. Like, you may not realize unless you kind of take a moment and like scan your body, right? So we have the pleasure of having mothers that work in the mental health space. And so these are tips and tricks I'm sure you've heard and have been taught, and not everybody has. So first things first, like, you got to be aware. You got to know like what's going on, and it can feel like a heartbeat. You can start to sweat, your jaw can clench, tensing shoulders, all of these things. Some sinking feeling in your stomach and your back, like some physical something, right? Anything, headaches, throat dry, all the above, right? So then my question is, okay, how do you deal with those triggers? What do you do to decompress?
So for me, if it's a big trigger, like if it's something, that I've taken time to get over or something like that, then I genuinely I have to pray, because God is the only one that's going to be able to help me. Because a lot of mine, like, say, I don't know, I just feel like men trigger me more than men do trigger me, because I was in a, like, I hate to say it, but like in a mentally abusive, I don't know how it was, a toxic, I hate to say toxic because it was more than that. It was a mentally abusive relationship. And men trigger me, like I can spot manipulation like that. Like, I know you're trying to manipulate me. And it's like, so then I have to just pray to not let that take over, because I don't want to become bitter. I don't want to, and sometimes I find myself like always, everything I say about a man is negative. And I'm like, I don't want to be a bitter woman. So I have to like pray to take that, take that away. But if it's like,
I want to rewind really quickly, because you made a key distinction. You said big trigger. I don't know the clinical term, but I'm sure there's a scale, right? When we think about, so when you say big, what's that mean? Like, what is the difference between a big trigger and a little trigger, a trigger, a trigger, trigger? No.
Right. So a big trigger, like I said, is something that I've kind of like really spent time getting over, or something that has really affected me in the past. And that is like a deeper, I don't know, just like a deeper wound that was there, versus something like, I don't like, I talked about earlier, I don't like disrespect. So, that's going to get me irritated, but that would be like a little trigger. I can kind of just swallow that, like, or, well, I can kind of speak up for myself and kind of just be like, let that go. But if something triggers me where I feel like I'm being manipulated, or I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, that's going to take me a little bit more like, okay, I got to really ground myself. You're not, sometimes I might not even be being taken advantage of. And I see her, let's lay out the fact. Let's see if what it is.
I think as you're talking, because I'm trying to figure out too, like, what makes something bigger than the other. And I think it's really anything triggering me pertaining to trust. Just in those those kind of all fall under like categories. Like, can I trust you? Safe, my physical safety, emotional safety. Like, I don't know. Like, you okay? You disrespect me. Yeah. It is what it is. But like, again, there's levels of disrespect too. Now you put your hands on me, obviously that is a triggered, unacceptable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But and then, so like you said, when it comes to trust, like, it takes time to build that with you, right? So anything that kind of is chipping at that is like, so can I trust you though?
Yeah.
You just did that, and that triggered me. You know what I'm saying? So I think okay, so that's how. And you said you deal with them in prayer,
Mhm.
okay? And go ahead.
Or just like really just taking the time to, like I said, think about the facts. Am I triggered because of what I went through in the past, or am I triggered because this person actually is, doing these things to me? So sometimes it's a self check, like, okay, hold on, I'm maybe projecting, my feelings onto them. So it's really just that stop, even if it's not a prayer, which I usually do try to, but if it's just the stop and like, okay, let me really look at the situation for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
triggered
no,
me.
that's really good. Like, and that's it's tough to do, right? And especially in the moment because you're going to be biased.
Oh yeah.
It's real hard. It's gonna be real hard, and I'm only saying this, just be real with y'all. Like, it's going to be hard to be like, no, I'm being triggered right now. He
Yeah.
ain't tripping. She ain't tripping. They ain't really do nothing. It's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How often do we actually?
Yeah. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because I just wanted to encourage people that might be the case, and that's okay, right? Like, at least, oh, it's me. I'm the problem.
It's a self learning,
Hey, we can start to like work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Calm, decompress, calm ourselves down, understand like the source of this like turmoil, right? Because you could be triggered and upset and like it's you, and then they say my bad, we good, and then you still not feeling right, because
Like,
you still have to deal with what you got going on.
yeah, absolutely.
So very good point. Like, pause for a second. Let's analyze the facts. They said X, Y, and Z, but I heard X, Y, and C. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question.
What's your
Because
question?
when you introduced it, one of the examples you gave was people saying it's not your partner's responsibility for your triggers. How do you feel about that? Do you think that that's true, or how do you feel?
I feel like yes, it's not his responsibility to manage my triggers, but it is his responsibility to be aware that they exist.
Okay.
I am responsible for that, right? I'm responsible for taking what he said, like I was saying, and looking at the facts, and is it me or did he actually trigger me? And right, and I'm not always good at that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And why I say it's his responsibility to be aware is because I'm not good at that, and there will be a time where I am going to respond based on a trigger, and he will have to, okay, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Let me not get defensive and dig into it and make it bigger, right? And
Right.
just realize this actually has absolutely nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I
How
just
can I reassure her?
exactly. How can we bring it back down? I love you. And we have to work on that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And vice versa, right? Like, with like, oh, okay, I triggered you, but like maybe it don't have anything to do with me. How can I? Same thing. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. And that is a time taker.
Absolutely.
The word.
Yeah. Over time, time takers, good. That's so funny. But
So yeah, so my question is, okay, you said like big triggers, little triggers, and some of them it takes time to like heal and work on and think you're over, right? But another misconception is that they go away, right? Like that these triggers, all of a sudden, you're in a better headspace, new year, new me, and that's my past. I don't live there anymore. All these like fun quotes we like to say, and then you're driving down the street one day, and then boom, You know what I'm saying? Somebody cut you off and now you pissed and snapping on everybody and you don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But you healed. But you
Right.
healed.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I agree with that they go away. I think, like you said, over time you learn how to you learn how to be aware of them and how to, recognize them earlier, I think. But I don't think they necessarily go away. Even if it's just a thought, like, oh, I would have, something, just a quick thought, and it goes out your mind. You're always going to be a little bit aware. Your body has that memory of that trigger. It's not, I personally don't think it's ever going to go away.
No, and you're 1,000% right. And I think we have to, it's important to say that, right? It's important to give ourselves that permission because when you're on this healing journey, right, it feels like I was just talking to Daniel the other day and like thinking about, sorry, it's sad. And just thinking about this like weight loss and health journey, right? Like, why can't I just be one of those girls who wake up with abs and have 4 kids and they feel this big
They
and
eat
they
whatever
eat
they
the ice
want.
cream, the pasta? I'm not that girl. I said obesity is literally a donut away. Every time I eat something, every time I think about I want this. I want to have a mean sweet tooth. It's really bad. Thanks, Dad. Thanks,
No,
Mom.
like, is that a family thing?
It must
It
be.
really is bad. Like, I
I
could
stay
work
near
out and
something
eat
sweet.
healthy. I need something sweet.
I do.
Like,
I just do.
chocolate chip cookies don't stand a chance in my house.
I don't make them. I don't have the ingredients because I would eat the whole batch. You understand?
I'm telling you.
And I give myself credit for that because that's discipline. That's
I have not made it there.
self-control.
I buy a pack of cookies every time I go grocery shopping. I have not made it there.
We was Oreoed up over here, double stuff. We was Oreoed up over here.
That is my kryptonite. It's sweet. Wow.
I refuse. I'm not gonna say I refuse to buy, but I have to. I have to not buy it because if I buy it, it's going
down. Oh my goodness! I wonder if that literally when you said that, I'm like,
that's the trigger.
Yeah, look, look at that. I'm like, that's so funny.
I don't remember what I was there talking about.
Okay. Oh shoot. Dang, I'm sorry.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
Something about
working out,
Oh, I was saying that I'm sad that I'm not okay. I can't just be skinny, basically.
Yeah.
And it's something that I always and continually will have to like work at, be conscious of, and be mindful of.
Do you ever think about this? And this is probably not something, if you haven't thought about it, sorry to put it in your head. But do you ever think about the fact that I don't, you know how you said those women who have 4 children and are skinny, like thinking about my body now, when I think about how I'm going to be after a child, I am not going to be one of those women who just snap back. I don't even have my pre.
You know the only thing that's going to give me hope?
What?
I'm gonna breastfeed and I'm gonna wrap this belly up. I promise you I will. And I won't have I actually think that would be the most prime opportunity if I'm a lose some weight. If it's after the first one, not the number 2 and 3 and 4, I don't know. It's just
it's just what it is. It's a part of me now.
Love me or hate me. I mean
literally.
I don't know. I do think about it though. And I do be like, you know what?
Because even if I get to pre-baby weight,
I look like I've had a baby.
That's what I'm like. If I get to pre-baby weight, I literally look postpartum. Like, are you good? It's not good. What am I snapping back to? Okay.
I've been told I look pregnant. You know, and you know what? Maybe I need to go to the doctor because it might be something in here that's not fat. You know what I'm saying? Like God forbid, benign, okay, like mass or something. Or I need to get what's it called? A colon cleanse. and get,
Oh,
all of that out or something. I don't
yeah.
know.
Go on like a 10-day juice, a water detox.
Y'all need juices. I love a good juice though. I
Yeah,
just
I
don't
need
feel
some.
like I'm gonna be full.
Yeah, I need some food with the juice. I drink the juice with the food. I drink the juice with my food. That's so funny.
Oh, you are too funny. Well, listen, y'all. Also, okay, last thing on triggers. And this is where I think I'm at in my life. And I need to take it serious.
Mm-hmm.
Is finding an outlet to not specifically even just deal with triggers, but
Mm-hmm.
to give you serotonin and like pour in and like be happy for a minute,
For a minute, can I be happy for a minute?
Whether it's like coloring or um, making candles or
Okay.
doing puzzles or knitting or something, not on your phone, not, or if it is on your phone, like productive, like brain games or a research project for your next book you're gonna write. Something that is purely for the joy of it.
Right.
That's it. Purely for the joy of it, not to like make you a better person or you got to
Mm-hmm.
be the best colorer in the world and the fading is like,
Yeah.
bedazzle shoes. I don't know, like whatever you need to do to give you a little just something. Like I want to encourage us to find some,
Yeah.
so that we can, just give ourselves what we give everybody else in this world. So when we are triggered, maybe you can just think about that coloring page or think about the next colors stone you're gonna put on your bedazzle project or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. However you want to design your new candle. I like to do sipping paints at home.
Yes.
I
That's
want to get
enough.
those mats and do the ones like the door mats where you paint.
Oh, that's fun. That's cute. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's tons of stuff. If you guys have ideas, put them in the comments. Let us know what you do, what you want to make me start doing. Just to kind of help us all grow, learn, be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And is there anything else you need to tell the people, Sierra?
No, I think we had a great talk today.
Yes, per usual. And if y'all didn't know, we have real life conversations. We're real life cousins, and this is our real life platform for Black women just to feel safe in expressing all the things and just sharing our experiences. So, if y'all enjoyed today's episode, we love y'all for listening. Please send this to anybody you love, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not gonna do it, girl. See?